What's up guys, welcome back to another No Man's Sky video. Today let's take a look at a really cool change to acquiring space freighters. And expedition number 3 has an undocumented change that even Hello Games doesn't talk about. And that's the fact that you can literally get freighters on almost every warp, making hunting for a max rank ship probably the easiest it's ever been. So in this video we're gonna talk about how to trigger that, how it works, and how you can take advantage of it. Before jumping in with today's video though, let me introduce you to a brand new sponsor called Core. Now Core is one of the more unique brands I featured on the channel, as this isn't just a simple game, but an entire new platform you can create, share, and play video games on. It's currently available for free on the EpidemicSounds store, and you get to play with your very own avatar that you create and customize. You get to start in this lobby area that's usually filled with tons of other players, but what makes Core so unique is that you can immediately jump into other games using these portals. Like, I really enjoy the game called Star Colony, but there's over 20,000 other video games in there covering pretty much all genres. The more you play these games, the more points you get, which you use to further unlock more skins for your avatar. The next in-game event is called Tanks, Wrecks, and Races and will last from September 14 until the 20th, and you get to compete in different races to win limited time prizes. So definitely check the game out using the links down below, and I'll give another huge shout out to Core for sponsoring this video. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's talk about the method itself, which only works, by the way, during Expedition 3 and only on Expedition 3 save files. So you will likely want to play, if you haven't already, until you get to repair your ship fully, lift off from the first planet, and even repair its hyperdrive capability. Especially this last part is important because we're gonna be doing a bit of warping between a couple of systems. Now normally if you already played through it, you likely already warped once into the second system to reach rendezvous point number 2. Now this step is likely not needed, but if you reach this point, yes, it's still fine and you can continue from this point on, which is why I recommend to make a permanent save file right here, possibly using a save beacon or a save point for a manual save. So here is where the trick actually begins. I'm on my normal expedition playthrough. This is the first one that I completed out of the 2 that I played through. So I would go in and teleport from the rendezvous point into the third system. This would be the second warp or the third system I reach. And lo and behold, the first thing that spawns right here is a guaranteed space freighter battle. Now normally what I would do in this case is take care of the pirates, take them down, see if the freighter is something that I like, rescue it, and possibly even acquire it if it is of the max rank and class that I need. But what I want you to do is to just ignore this completely for now and instead fully disengage from the battle and from the pirates, up until the point you can teleport to a different system again, which would be pretty much like this. And what I will do now is pick another random system and warp into it again. And bam, lo and behold, there's a brand new space battle happening right there, even though we completely ignored the previous one. And this is something that doesn't happen in normal playthroughs. As a matter of fact, just to show you how crazy this is, I'm gonna go ahead and warp yet again in another random system. And lo and behold, we have yet another space battle after that, even though I completely ignored the previous 2. And you can continue doing this over and over again until you find a freighter that you really enjoy. You just have to have enough hyperdrive capability to do that, but you just have to jump into the closest system and it's going to guarantee spawn another freighter battle right there, which means that right now this is the easiest you can go ahead and acquire a freighter, especially if you're a newcomer, and especially so if you're hunting for that perfect ship for you, max rank, max size, and everything else in between. Now I did go ahead and test this on a second Expedition 3 playthrough. I essentially started a brand new one yesterday just to test if this still works. I didn't even completely finish it, I only repaired the ship and the hyperdrive, and yes, I can confirm it absolutely worked the second time as well, exactly the same as the first time. After you do the second teleport after your first space battle spawns, every subsequent warp in different random systems will spawn another fader battle every single time, even if you completely ignored the ones previous to that. Now, for those who were wondering if this trick also works on normal save files or any other types of save files except Expedition 3, then I'm afraid to break it down to you, but no, it does not. It doesn't seem to follow the same sequence of events as it does in Expedition 3. I even started a brand new playthrough on normal to test this out, even reached that point in the Atlas story that forces a fader battle to start in front of you, but teleporting away from it doesn't seem to spawn a new one unless you go the old route of waiting another 3 hours and warping 5 more times before that happens. Meanwhile, in Expedition 3, literally every single warp after the first one will spawn another fader battle, so you have tons of options to pick your next mega ship. That's why I also recommend you go ahead and do this trick while you still can. If you're watching this video after Expedition 3 has concluded, chances are that the trick will not work anymore. Maybe there's gonna be another expedition in the meantime that's gonna have this trick working as well, but I wouldn't keep my hopes high for that. Now, on a final note, we will also test if this is going to be free. And yes, spoilers alert, I kind of already played through this, so I know that the freighters will still be free. We ignore the previous ones and remember that we don't have to wait 3 in-game hours and 5 warps for just one of these space fights to start. It actually happens on every single warp after the first one. And yeah, we're just gonna take care of some of these pirates. Now, for some reason in this encounter we only got 5 enemies instead of the usual 8 that we get for some of these bigger encounters. So I guess maybe that's also an Expedition 3 kind of thing, but it makes the encounter much easier, so I'm just gonna finish with that. Also gonna go ahead and yeah, just accept the captain's call, and I will make my way in the freighter. Now, to show you that I didn't own a previous freighter, here is kind of like my screen. This is one of the first save files on Expedition 3. It's 100% completed, but as I've said, you only need the ship up and running and have the hyperdrive for this method to work, and from that point on you can do what I just did. So now I will go ahead and accept it, and bam, look at that, 31 slot out of the maximum 34. Only B class, but normally what I would do in this case is I would just reload a little bit more and head back into the system and refarm until I got it with the max rank and 34 slots instead of just 31. But I just wanted to showcase in this video that it's totally possible to do this farm way easier than in the normal mode and get the freighter much sooner without having to spend so many hours in game and jumping through so many systems. You can essentially do this in one single go right at the end of the expedition, and especially so since many of you already finished it and have a save file right before this event even triggers. So yeah, totally let me know down below in the comments if this worked for you, and I will see you guys in the next video.